Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. We got you guys piling into the room. We've got a special guest for you hopping on here as well, who would normally typically do this time slot. And for everybody in free week that's just not familiar, usually every other Friday we'll do like a beginner Friday. We slow it down a little bit. So I know we try to slow it down for free week in general, just to answer as many questions as possible. But we have Stephen King with us, who's an outstanding trader, outstanding coach, mentor. So definitely want to introduce you guys to the community before the end of the week as well. So Stephen, are you able to hear me?
I am. Yeah. Hey, everyone. Thank you for being here. Hey, I was supposed to open the room this morning and be on with you from 9 to 11. And like Dan said, Fridays, certain Fridays of the month, we really slow things down for new traders. That's my main focus, is helping new and developing traders. Unfortunately, I'm having a little bit of some technical issues this morning with my computer. I didn't want to risk the stream dropping during the 2 hours I was supposed to be on. So I'm going to let Dan take it this morning. That's going to give me time to correct the issue I'm having on my end. But I will be back this afternoon, 4 to 5 p.m. I do a session where we analyze price action and volume. Really helpful for anybody who's new to trading, just to be able to learn how to determine the sentiment of certain candles and the price action and volume. So hope that all of you will be here this afternoon, 4 to 5, and I will be back then. Dan, it's all you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you helping me out.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah. And just to reiterate, if you guys have not seen, I mean, some of you guys, I mean, Jeffrey's already like, hey, good to hear your voice. If you guys are not familiar with Stephen King and have not been through one of his sessions, one of his classes, I mean, this is free week. You get it absolutely free. Phenomenal analysis, phenomenal trade strategy. I can guarantee you guys learn something. So that will be later on today when Stephen King comes back. So make sure you guys are here for that. And during today, I mean, we only have one day left of free week, but during today, any of the live trading sessions, any of the classes, take advantage of it. Ask as many questions as humanly possible. Whatever you're confused about in the market, let us know. We'll be happy to answer it. And like I said, on Fridays, every other Friday, we do beginner Friday. So the intent of it is to kind of slow it down and realistically answer as many questions to help you guys out as possible. We do that every single week or every other Friday in real life trading as well. So good morning to all you guys out there, all the party people ready to rock that has been consistently coming here, enjoying the week. We got so many people. I don't even know. I mean, usually by the time I go through it, like, you guys are still piling in. Now we got a massive crowd. So just welcome to all you guys. And I don't want to eat up some more time, but yeah, we got a lot of earnings, a lot to talk about, a lot of news. So let's take a look real quick at the SPY. We do have a little bit of a gap up, but it's been some rocky hour after hour sessions. We've been back and forth. Let's see where we are at just on a smaller time frame. And if you look at the futures, I mean, the futures were going kind of crazy last night. Then they dropped hard, and I believe we had some news coming out. I don't know if it was employment numbers, but I was away, didn't get to check it out. But there was some data that came out this morning, and markets are off to a little bit of a rough, shaky, choppy start. So we'll have to take a look at that just to see how this market does want to hold up. For right now, on developing VPOCs, I mean, pre-market volume is going to be a little different. So we're going to have to see where this thing actually closes for the end of the day. We'll have to watch this, but we are gapping up a little bit from on VPOC, so volume area, which essentially means that the market and people buying the market is deeming it as a little bit more valuable than it was yesterday. So there's a little bit more bullish sentiment. We also did have this gap up. This came back, fully retested. We are holding a good support somewhere right around 448.88. So you're going to want to see that hold throughout the day if we are going to remain bullish. Otherwise, we probably do get a steeper sell-off if that starts to break for us. And then, like I said, today's VPOC is 449.85 right now. That's developing VPOC. That is subject to change for sure. And then I got a bigger spot here around 450.28. So if we could really hold this 450.28, that would be fantastic for us to start to really push bullish today. 451.37 is where I'm looking for this thing to break, and we'll see if we can get that range. But that's going to be our range for today. Whether we stay inside of that or not is unforeseen, and we'll see if we have any luck. The Qs themselves, they are relatively flat in terms of volume, but same sort of picture. So we do have that little bit of a gap up. We did create a little bit of a lower high. We started tanking right into that support zone. We tried to break it, we held it, and we did push off of it. So right now we are at resistance. If we could get a little bit higher, and I'd really be looking for about 376.36, that to me would tell us, all right, we're pretty safe in the bullish area. Otherwise, if this is the range that we're in, you're probably looking to not buy at the high of the range. You're probably looking to not go short at the low of the range until it's broken. And until that point, risk to reward will become sell high, buy low, short high, buy as low as you could. And we'll see if we remain in this range. We do have some options that do expire today. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy, abnormal. It's not like quad witching day, anything like that. So we'll see how this market wants to break down. You guys already got some tickers in here. I was asking, do you think the third rule holds today? Oh, the 3-day rule. 3-day rule. What is the 3-day rule? I've heard 3-day rule from, if Jim Cramer says anything, don't buy anything for 3 days. I've heard multiple aspects of 3 days down. I'm gonna have to explain that one a little bit further, because I've also seen 4 days down. I've seen 5 days down. I've seen 27 days up very, very recently. All right, let me see. There was a couple tickers in here. Let me just scroll back. DJ's okay too. I agree with the sentiment, and I do appreciate the enthusiasm. That's cool. All right, so we got DraftKings. DraftKings did report earnings last night, and they did beat. So we have good earnings. They were up. Surprise beat by 7 cents. So they were positive 7 cents. It's about a 30% upside surprise. And we did beat. This is the bigger one, 110. So we got $110 million higher in revenue. So pretty positive results on DraftKings in terms of earnings. And I think the conference call is going to weigh a lot more on the movement of the stock. So the conference call, which the CEO, I think his name is Jason Robbins, but he is he's extremely bullish, which is kind of what you want in your CEO, not to a fairy tale land, like everything is always good and positive. But a few things that he did say on the call was that the older states, because keep in mind, I mean, DraftKings has a hurdle being not only, I mean, they've been around for a while, but newer industry compared to others in terms of legalization, where only some states get approved and then some more states get approved. And I've been saying this for a while. They've been going aggressively into the markets that have opened up. So the markets that have been legalizing, DraftKings is making sure that they're on the list. People know who they are. They do spend an absolute ton of money on marketing, promotions, things like that. So what he said on the call was, number one, we've cut back a lot of the promotions in existing states, and the old states that they've already had is more than enough money to cover the new states that is opening up for them. So again, is this going to be in a $100 stock today? Probably not, but the sentiment is good for a longer term basis. That being said, so we do have a little bit of a gap and go. We've had a run up into this gap and go, and we're still in a market where I think a lot of rallies get sold off and people take profits. And if we weren't in that type of market, I think this one has the ability to run. I think it still does. Maybe we could get to $35, $36 today. I'd be looking for somewhere in like first little resistance, probably about $34.72. And then we'll see if we can make it up to about $36. So somewhere in that would be the range for today. I think that's where DraftKings can run to. However, I can't ignore that we did buy into this, and also the market condition right now, I think overall is still kind of a little iffy, and maybe we're not buying as furious. If this report came out probably last quarter, this thing would be absolutely tearing it up. But I mean, I can't ignore that they already kind of did tear it up last quarter too. So there is now a lot of people profitable. This thing hung out, nice double bottom on a daily, and it is a gap and go. I would be looking only probably bullish today on DraftKings. I don't want to play this thing short. I think it has about a 5% short flow too. So some shorts could continue to get squeezed on DraftKings. And I don't want to step in the way of the squeeze. I'd rather ride the momentum. So if this thing does pull back a little bit, why can't I get Trading View all week has been like kind of almost responsive. And that's it's the effort that counts. Let me see if I can't even get this thing scrolled up. All right. We'll just have DraftKings on the list. No, I'm pretty determined, actually. I'm pretty determined to get this one higher on the list. Okay, it did move. All right. Oof, DraftKings. All right. Amazon also reported, so they crushed earnings as well. This is another one, but this is going to be at least DraftKings is smaller name, I guess, at least in terms of revenue. So they're not as large as Amazon. A lot of these bigger tech companies we've definitely seen sell the rips. This one is pushing into a high volume area, so could get a little bit higher, maybe about 140, 160, something like that. But we're kind of in that high zone right now. So I would actually love to see this one go up a little bit at open with some excitement. And I think this is one that I would be okay playing the fade if I had to. This is also a retest gap. So, and some of the bigger giants have been selling off, but earnings report was fairly decent on Amazon, by the way. I don't have the extremely big mouse on, but I did increase it a little bit. So I hope you guys can see the cursor a little bit. We got surprise beat, 29 cents in the positive. That's an 83% upside. So that crushed expectations. And then we do have surprise beat of $2.8 billion, a 2.2% surprise beat to the upside. So again, positive news on earnings, but we've seen positive news sell off, aka AMD. All right, so we can't forget that. And I wouldn't mind attempting to short this one down. If this one does short, the real question is, why is TradingView not moving my tickers? I think I know why. I think it's because I just leave TradingView open all week. Like I never close it down and restart it. That's probably it. But we do have a lot of room in Amazon for this fade, for the drop. I'd probably be looking for about 134.22. If this thing wants to sell off, obviously there's probably going to be a little bit of support coming in, maybe prior to it, 135.35. But as we approach a little bit higher, we're hitting more and more resistance on this thing. So a fade would make sense on Amazon for me. And then FNKO. FNGO. Do they make those little like toy action figure doll things? Is that FNGO? I didn't even know they were. If that's them, I didn't know they were even traded. That's crazy. But apparently nobody's buying FNGOs anymore. Nobody likes them. You have a little bit of support down here, so this is going to be targets probably somewhere in the 625 zone. So you have a little bit more room to the downside. Otherwise, this gap is FNGO. Is that them? Is that the little stupid looking dolls that they collected for like a day? Or maybe they were a wild sensation that swept the nation. I'm not sure. This one does look pretty awful to the downside. So any type of bounce in this one, this is also a gap and go. Any green candle on FNGO would probably be your way to push this one to the downside. So they did report. They surprised their estimates. I wouldn't be surprised if they're who I think they are. I thought they'd be at zero. I didn't even know they traded, but they missed their estimates by 1 penny, so 4% to the downside. And then they did also drop 10 million in revenue. I can't believe they did 1 million in revenue, but they missed it by 10 million. And again, probably some kind of support somewhere around the 625. So if you're going to short it, I would expect lighter volume on this one. I've never traded this ticker, so I have no idea how this one does trade. And it is a little bit lower to the price wise, not below $5, so it is tradable. For me, part of my plan. Rob says Amazon gapped up. It's huge. It's the hugest stock in the world. Jeffrey, only 2 stocks I'll trade today are Apple and Amazon. Great gaps. AAPL. So we'll check that one out. Yep. So Apple actually, again, good earnings. Surprise to the upside, 6 cents. Their earnings were fairly good, but you have to be priced for perfection for this thing to really carry home. We increased by $1 trillion this year. So if you're an investor, again, you're looking for profits. If you're an investor, you're looking for how much can a company grow, and once you hit a $3 trillion valuation, you're looking for, I guess, a $4 trillion valuation. I guess you're going to be paying a lot of money if you're investing in Apple today. I do own Apple shares. I'm not selling my shares. That's in the long-term account. I'll continue just to get some divvies, enjoy the probably pullback to lose any of those gains, but then could dollar cost average lower. I'm not afraid of Apple. I'm not going to invest at these prices. And I think a lot of the selling after good earnings is probably that same sentiment. Do you really want to throw your money in at all-time highs on enormous valuations that you're like, well, honestly, DraftKings is probably a better longer-term investment than Apple at this point, just because at least it's got a good growth potential. You have a better shot, but if you're looking for safe money, Apple would be a little bit less risky than DraftKings, probably longer term. We'll see. But yep, big major gap down. This one we're at a little bit of support. I don't like that we're starting to break some of these moving averages. But if I think this one could look for maybe a fade higher. We'll see. Again, even at 185, I think the valuation on this thing is still a little nutty. And I wouldn't want to, for a long-term perspective, I wouldn't want to trade this one. Obviously, 1, 2, 3 days down in a row. And now you get a fairly big gap. First target on it would be probably about 187.63. If we could break through that, I'd be looking into like the 190 maybe. So I think we have some room to the upside, plenty of room to the downside as well. But if we get one or two red candles and we could try to play this fade, I think this one could be fade worthy. Rock's in the house. Rock feeling good with the DraftKings today. We got Stacy. I'm with you, Jeff, looking at those as well. Adam says same here. Jeff and Stacy, DraftKings, Amazon, FNGO are the top 3 right now. Maybe Apple. Lucian's in the house. Search as ADP. I don't know if you're looking for the ADP company or that's the report that we had today. Automatic data processing. Let's see. Let's see if TradingView wants to give me a pre-market price on this one. I thought it was a 3-date rule. That's a different chat room. That's a different chat room, Win. You might have clicked the wrong dashboard today. A little bit of a gap and go on ADP. You do have plenty of room on this one. Still technically inside day. We're just hanging out at the low. So I would like to see something try to run up into like this 247.36. Maybe we get to 247.69. Just kind of consolidating here. You are going to have to run into the 10 EMA, 245.47. But if that breaks, there's nothing really stopping you. First little spot would probably be 243.91, just the bottom of that candle. Otherwise, this retest gap, at least in the near future, 240.58 would be targets. Again, that would be a massive day for ADP. So I would suspect that 10 EMA is going to have a little bit of strength on it. Is that a band? FNGO? Yeah, you never heard the sweet sounds of FNGO? Oh, three days down? No, that's 3 Dog Night, I think. There was three dog night, and there's also 3 doors down. Yep, there you go. We got Wayne says at Rock gets a new yacht. I know, but the problem is parking. He's already got 2 other yachts. It's tough to fit into the docks. Leaning towards taking position on open for DraftKings with tight stops and move fast. You could. We have 9 minutes till the market opens in about 3. Let's start looking at some of those pre-markets, both on Amazon, Apple, and DraftKings. And we could even look at FNGO. You guys are really, really on the FNGO train today. You guys are in FNGO town. So we'll see what happens there. We got Apple with the gap. Yep, we took a look at. Maybe it's related to It's Smacky the Frog. Smokey the Frog. He's different. That's his cousin, but they don't really talk. I followed FNGO. It has really low volume. I would imagine it does. Just said I made that mistake. I'm lost on that comment. Rock says, yeah, it is. Tesla. So we can look at Tessie, TSLA. Of course. The Kingdom Outreach says completed the advanced classes on reallifetrading.com. Man, that's music to my ears. It's not as good as FNGO music, but it's still pretty good. I like it. Congratulations to you. So Tesla is gapping up a little bit. This should be a retest gap after that type of buying. So again, I don't know if this is going to be shortable. You are at some kind of resistance. This one I think comes down first. So whether again you want to play this thing short at the open, see if you can get a pullback maybe into this 259.13. We're still in a sell environment. That's a beautiful looking high wave indecision candle. It was an okay close, not the best. We had a little bit of a bull trap coming out of it. We closed back inside of that candle. But today we are gapping out. So into a little bit of resistance with some moving averages that have been an absolute struggle bus for Tesla. Every time we've hit that 10, we have been essentially rejected. So I would think that there's probably somebody that wants to take profit at open on this one. It comes down for a retest. Whether it bounces from that retest or not, I don't know. Otherwise, if it doesn't bounce toward the top of this candle, somewhere in 259.26, I can see it coming all the way down to 255.93. So you're going to have some room to the short side if you're going to play that. If we start breaking, I'd say about 261.82, somewhere in that zone, and we get a couple candles that close, it's got potential for a runner. But Friday before a 2-day weekend, coming into some moving averages that have been very, very tough. I don't know if today we're going to get that momentum from the bulls, especially if the bulls are kind of a little bit leery to throw money into the market. I think at this point we got Google. We'll wait for the price to come in. We'll check that one out. Kevin Stone says, have we looked at net yet? Nope, but they did report earnings, and I think they were trending last night as well. So we'll take a look at that right after Google. We still got 7 minutes, so we're looking good. We got a little bit of resistance on the GOOGs. I would put that resistance somewhere around 129.49, so 129.50 psychological hold number as well. And then if we could get a break on that, I think we're looking at 131.80, and we do have some room to the upside. Can't ignore that this is technically a retest gap. See if we get a little pullback. Look for some kind of stability at 128.66. If we're getting a bounce off there, I'm with you. I think that's a good risk reward. So I would love to see a little pullback on GOOGs. I'm going to try to attempt to move this thing up higher. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't think it did. But yep, stops would be somewhere below probably 127.77. So definitely one to watch. My entire watch list is all messed up because nothing's moving on it, but that's cool. Well, we'll take the punches how they come. We got Cloudflare. So they did report earnings yesterday or last night. They had a positive beat of 2 cents. I guess they were expecting. Was it a loss? I mean, that seems wide. That's 33% to the upside on earnings per share. That's pretty impressive. And then you do have a surprise beat of 2.92 million to the upside, so just under 1%. This is a huge, huge gap into resistance. I kind of like net for the fade. The only other thing on this one is I don't know what their short float is, but I think this one fades lower at this level. Come on, Net. Get up there. Get up there, buddy. You can do it. Okay. Give it to me. Come on. No. I tried. Let me just see real quick the short float on FinViz. I don't know if they have a high short float. Let me see. Yeah, 6%. It's not an overwhelming one, but it's decent. I still think that this is going to be some type of resistance. We are closing that. There was a slight, tiny gap, and we are closing that now. So also it's up $7.46. Net, I would probably look for a fade. Let me get net on TOS. Let me actually get the ones that we're looking for on TOS. Let's do Airbnb did report. No, I guess nobody wants to talk about Airbnb. That's cool, I guess. Let me take so we got Amazon up there. Let's put Apple up there, AAPL just to prepare. We got 4 more minutes left. Let me see what else we got. Play that Funko music, right, boy. There's like 3 out of 5 words correct of that song, but that's okay. They all sound the same though. Last day of free week, soak it up, noobs. That's a brutal celebration, I think. All right, we got Kevin Stone says when they're too young to know that song. I don't think Win knows that song. No, there's no correct words there. We got Cindy says Fox News had Donny Osmond on it for Friday concert series. Haha, I didn't know he was even still performing. No, you get Donny Osmond. That means we're bullish today. Donny Osmond, clearly he's bullish. That's a bullish signal. So, sometimes sometimes technicals don't matter. Just Donny Osmond. That's the only one that really matters. We got Roblox. Let's see where this one wants to come in pre-market. Doesn't look like, is it doing something crazy? Am I missing something? Oh, there we go. A little bit of a gap. It wasn't even shown. I don't know why it's so delayed. A little bit of a gap up. Pretty decent. I would think this one actually could run a little bit higher. 38.64 would be target. At least first target. Second target would take you to about 38.97. So we'll see. Ron wants to take a look at CNK. What do we got? 2 minutes left. All right, I'm gonna try. I don't know if we're gonna get to the looking at some of those pre-market support levels. We'll see though. Cinemark. Cinemark Holdings. There we go. Nice little gap up. You do have 1, 2, 3 days in a row. So targets on this one, if you go higher, I think resistance starts to pile in around 1837 and then 1845. So it's going to give you about 40 cents. Cinemark probably does have a little bit higher of a short float. So maybe we could get some continuation, but until we start really breaking out of, I think, 1854, some of the bears might be holding on to their hopes and dreams. Donnie Murray is still one of the biggest selling Vegas shows. That is kind of wild. That's kind of wild. What is the average age range of Vegas visitors? That's the question. All right, we got Microsoft. We'll see how they're coming in. What do I got? Less than I got 40 seconds. The last 2 minutes always go so fast. All right, so nice little gap up there. Again, this one's going to hit a little resistance probably. So this is technically the retest gap. Look for the fade. I don't know if you guys want to fade that one at open. It could get stalled out at 330.80. If not, a really nice bounce spot on this one with good risk reward be 327.96. Otherwise, you will start piling into resistance 334.24. I got 16 seconds left. 6% short float on Netflix. CNK. Donnie's about as effective as the moon phase. Don't knock the moon phase, but we got through everything. PayPal is gapping. PayPal's gapping down. Square is definitely gapping down on earnings, but that's the morning bell. Everybody out there, YouTube land, you guys are absolutely incredible. Appreciate you guys joining us. There's still time. I mean, there's one more day left for free week, so make sure you guys, head to Real Life Trading. Click the banner. You guys do have one more opportunity to hang out with us all day if you have not done so already.